Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight on my own. Uh, Bruce got ill during the game and is unable to make it, so I'll be going it alone tonight, unfortunately. Wishing you the best, Bruce. Um, uh, 3-2 Oilers win over the Vegas Golden Knights. Probably the most tight checking game of the year. Just eight grade A shots for Vegas, just six for the Oilers. The subset of five alarm shots were 5-2-3 for Vegas. So Bruce, we were marking the game sheet. So I do know what his what his good thing and bad thing are, so I can go over them, as well as give my own of the two good things, two bad things, and two numbers podcast. This will be quick. Uh, Not used to going solo here, so I'll give it my best shot. My good thing, Calvin Pickard. Um, he didn't get tested a lot. Just the excuse me, the eight grade A shots, which isn't a lot. The Oilers usually give up about 12 per game on average. But his save in the last, with 90 seconds left, Vegas kind of had a 6-on-5, forced the puck down the boards, and passed it out front. Let me just check our scoring chance sheet to see who the culprits were allowing that. We had Wallman and Draisaitl allowing that pass out to door five in the slot. And all of a sudden, Vegas's 32 goal man was wide open right in front of the net. And Pickard made an absolutely fantastic save. He's looked good. He's looked confident in since Skinner has gone out. And earlier at the trade deadline, I've been talking about the Oilers' need for a goalie. Well, it's kind of shoving it to his critics. Pickard is right now with his outstanding play. He um, he was super solid tonight, and I didn't fault him really on either of the two goals against. We'll get to them later. Um, Draisaitl made up for leaving the slot man open by quickly taking the rebound and sending it down the ice. So a great play there. Bruce had noticed the play of Kasperi Kapanen in this game. He made a great defensive stop in the third period, shooting the puck out from the crease, which I concur with. And he was really, there had been a lot of controversy earlier in the day when Kapanen had been bumped up to the second line, and Jeff Skinner, who had been playing really well, had been bumped down to the third line. And Nugent Hopkins, Skinner, and Hyman had not had a good game at all against Calgary. So it's not surprising to see the line broken up and to see Skinner the odd man down, because Hyman's had a really good year, 2-on-2. Nugent Hopkins is the center. So you'd expect that it would be Skinner. On the other hand, Kapanen's been about as half as good a two-way player as Skinner all year, and Skinner's been putting up points. Bruce pointed out earlier today that Kapanen had just two assists in 20 games heading into this. But he really had a solid game. He was quite physical, and I think this is probably why he was bumped up because he's a more physical player than Skinner. Vegas is a big physical team, and they were probably thinking that they need just a bit more speed and a bit more aggression on that second line. Well, Kapanen came through. On the key third goal, the backbreaker of the goal, as I often say, if you get a goal late in the second period, the Oilers were up 2-1 at that point. The backbreaker was that goal, and Kapanen made the play. He made an absolutely wonderful pass into Arvidsson, who was coming across the crease, and Arvidsson slammed one shot in, and then with a great second effort, put the puck in the net. This was after Henrique had won a board battle just to get it all going. So three strong individual plays, but the highest skill play was the pass from Kapanen and Arvidsson, who then finished off with real determination around the net, making Aiden Hill a little bit crazy. Um, let's see where we are now. On to bad things. Bruce had highlighted the first goal of the game, which I completely concur with as a bad thing. And it's not often you see a player, Leon Draisaitl, both started and ended the sequence of pain on the first goal against. It was a very low event first period. Just actually, there was a crossbar shot by Eichel early on that didn't go in, and this was the only other grade A shot of the period, and it was a five alarm shot. So Leon's got the puck, and he turns the puck over at center ice with not a great pass, and they're in 3-on-2. But if Leon had hustled at that point and got back hard, he would have probably caught the danger man on the play. I think it was Nicholas Roy, and there wouldn't have been a goal against. But Leon didn't have his legs early in the game. He had that kind of long-legged, stiff-legged approach that he has sometimes when he's not playing that well. And he let Rod Patrick or Nicholas Rod, I think it's Roy, it's not Waugh. I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but he got off a wicked shot to score the goal, and Vegas got up to the 1-0 lead. And I was really thinking, like, with so many of the bigger players out, Evander Kane, Matthias Ekholm, Connor McDavid, Trent Frederick, the new acquisition, and Vegas such a big, strong, tough team. I was not optimistic about um, this game, but the Oilers somehow found a way to do it, and they did it by playing very disciplined defensive hockey, which was an encouraging thing in this game. My own bad thing, I guess, I was gonna say leaving Dorofayev open in the slot like that late in the game, but I will go with the second goal. And there's one shot that sums it up. You can go to the Cult of Hockey blog. It's in my Game Grades post. And there was no fewer than seven players screening Calvin Pickard on that play, including four Oilers. Um, Adam Henrique, who was out of the point, Jeff Skinner, who was just behind him, I think Brett Kulak, who was just behind him, and then Ty Emberson, who was just behind Kulak. And then there was three Vegas Golden Knights as well, seven players between Pickard. I don't think I've ever seen a goal with that many players potentially, um, you know, aiding to the screen, and it was a total eclipse of the sun screen. Pickard didn't see that shot, and it went in. These things happen in hockey, and although it was a bad thing, the silver lining is that the Oilers did play pretty well after that. They did give up four more grade A shots in the final 17 minutes of the game, but there was just the one five alarm shot by Dorofayev with 90 seconds left. So um, they got it done, and in doing so, they got 91 points. So that puts them in very good stead against Calgary, which has 82 points right now. Moving on to the numbers or the number. My number was going to be seven, the seven player screen, but I'm going to go back to that first. For a second number, I'm going to go back to that power play in the first period, and that the Oilers had. They never, they never got it going. They never even came close to getting it going. They could not get the puck into the Vegas zone with possession. And my number is five. Five times Vegas got it out. Five times the Oilers tried to get it back in. And they would get it in for a little bit, but they could never get that solid possession. And on the fifth, they iced it. So an icing on the power play is kind of the icing on the cake of a bad moment for a team, and that's what the Oilers had in that moment. That said, the power play came alive in the second period. Draisaitl drove hard to the net, and a penalty was called on him. They had a 5-on-3, and Nugent Hopkins made an absolutely brilliant crossing pass, where he made a fake, pulled the puck back, put it over to Draisaitl, and with the NHL's most deadliest of all weapons in the NHL, the executioner shot, Leon Draisaitl for his 52nd goal of the game, got the 2-1 goal, which was probably the defining moment of the game, getting ahead in that game. I want to add that um, Draisaitl's MVP bid for this season is really taking off. I'm starting to hear, who did I hear? I heard both Frank Saravalli and one other outside announcer. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. Well, there's of course there's Ryan Whitney, the Oilers fan for Spitting Chicklets, who's on board with this. But it was a couple of people who you wouldn't, Saravalli is not. He's pretty. He's a very fair and sharp commentator, but he's not biased against the Oilers, which is unusual. I find many of the Eastern commentators kind of have an out of sight, out of mind attitude with the Oilers and don't take uh, aren't up on just how excellent some of the Oilers players have been in recent years, and don't give them the respect they should get in awards voting. But I think that so there was Sarah Volley, there was another one, and it just struck me. Okay, it's picking up steam. The narrative is picking up steam that Leon Draisaitl has carried the Oilers on his back to the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. And that is exactly the truth. That's exactly what has happened here. He has he has played the best two-way hockey I've ever seen an Oilers center play um, since the 1990, and Mark Messier was on the team and at his peak. Draisaitl has has set a new standard in two-way play, and it's marvelous to see. And if it carries over to the playoffs, it's a very good thing for the Oilers. So with that, sorry to keep it so short. I was a little caught off guard, but I'm just and a little frazzled here by Bruce's illness. Bruce, thinking of you. Um, hoping to talk to you soon. Get better, man. And um, let's leave it there. And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.